steal a few games from teams and play above ourselves in order to compete. But we felt that we had the personnel to do that, and we feel that we continue to have the personnel to do that.
All right. I came out and really was interested in learning in what you guys did and how you went about your business. And I think the most impressive thing I heard was a motivational speech. Actually motivated me somewhat. And it's in a bad time. I mean, you guys aren't winning some ball games right now. So you sit there and you got the huddle and you make the phrase, if you expect to lose, then you've accepted. That's the first step in accepting losing. How did they respond to that?
I think, for us right now, it's about not only learning the X's and O's on the field and working hard every day, which the team does. It's about making sure that we put ourselves in the right position mentally too. So with such a young team and a new group, they have to understand mentally that you have to already expect to win. And if you don't expect to win, if you go into a game with a shadow of a doubt about the outcome of that game, then you're already setting yourselves up to lose, and you've already started to kind of accept that feeling and what you're going to feel like after the game, how you're going to talk to your friends and your family. So we want to get, we kind of just want to erase all those thoughts and go into a game situation knowing that we've been prepared, to the best of our ability, knowing that we've done, put in all the hard work in order to, earn that win, and we want to go in there knowing that we're going to win that game. So I think that the team, it's been a mixed response, out of them. I think some guys that have won, obviously, in the past, they totally get that message and they understand it, and they go into games knowing that they're going to win. We have some other guys coming from different backgrounds, whether that be from junior college or whether that be from a high school program. Maybe they were playing for a more developmental high school program where they really haven't gotten that success yet. And we talk a lot about confidence within our program, and it being such a flimsy thing. That confidence where it's very easy to tell yourself that you're going to be able to do something and that you put in the hard work and you've earned this win, but to actually firmly believe in it, saying it and believing it are two entirely different things.
I looked at your team overall. You talked about some of those kids coming from JUCO. I looked at Jack and David and what they brought a pedigree in as scorers, and now they haven't been able to score. And you're being led by a couple of freshmen. Now, one who was coached by his dad and 4-year MVP of a high school team. So obviously great success. Are they frustrated? Is your attack frustrated because they probably don't feel as if they're getting the output that they feel like they deserve?
Yeah, I think the offense is definitely frustrated right now because, again, we came into this season saying that if we couldn't do anything else, we'd be able to score goals. We kind of recruited this team and built this team to be able to go out and score goals. And, people would ask me, Coach, how do you think the team is going to look? And obviously, I really don't have a clue how the team is going to look until we get out there and compete. But we felt confident in the fact that we were going to be able to go out there and put some numbers up. And whether we win or lose games, we knew they'd be high-scoring games. Right now, I think we've kind of hit a little bit of a wall offensively, and obviously if something's not working, we're going to change it. So we've gone through a few different changes here with the offense over the last, I'd say, 4 weeks or so, where we've moved some guys around, we've changed a few things schematically, and we're hoping to put guys in better positions to score. But ultimately, we're not going to score any goals with the rate that we're turning the ball over right now. So we got to be able to catch and throw and really treasure those possessions. And then the other piece of that too is, and I know as a coach, especially a coach for our first year group, it sounds extremely, maybe even a little insane for me to say, but we want to shoot the ball 50+ times. That's something that, generally in a lacrosse game, you're hoping to shoot the ball, right around 35 times. We're talking about shooting it 50 times per game, but we know in order for us to be successful as a team, in order for our offense to be successful, we have to shoot the ball 50+ times, especially at the tempo that we play.
And the percentage is up too. So, as far as your goals, I would agree with that. Somebody who's very, you got that inside with the Mars Hill program. So, how do you match up? Obviously, you've got a program that's somewhat established, and then you're bringing this, trying to establish this Tusculum team. So right now, how do you match up? Is it a grade difference?
No, not at all. I mean, I think if you look at the teams in our conference, it's really anybody's ball game. Any day that we go out there and against a conference opponent, it can go either way. I think the difference right now between us and Mars Hill and us and a lot of our other conference opponents is right now playing with that poise and playing with the confidence that we need in order to really get a hold of that win. Because if you look at us in the first quarter, we're a completely different team in the first quarter than we are in the second and third quarters. Yeah. In the first quarter, we come out and we're executing, we're working hard. We're doing the things that we need to do. And I think that as the kind of game goes on, and especially as the opponent starts to score a few goals too, you can kind of see our nerves get like a little bit tenser, and we tighten up a little bit, hold the sticks a little bit tighter, and all of a sudden we start dropping some passes, we start taking some bad shots, start missing some slides defensively. So I think just having that confidence and that poise that some of the more experienced teams bring to the table, if we can sort of get a hold of that going into our next few games, we're going to be just fine. But personnel-wise, looking at Mars Hill, they're a very talented group, as they are most seasons, and we feel that as a coaching staff, with me being an alum and also Coach Cudmore having just graduated from there recently, we feel that we have a very good sense of their personnel and their schemes and what they're trying to do. It's just about making sure that we go out there and execute. So if we can kind of match their intensity level, because Mars Hill's a very intense group, they're going to come out and work hard and take it to us. But if we come out and match their intensity level, we can come out and match their confidence level, then it's going to be a ball game.
I can hear you say it, and I know you have it, but do you have an expectation level for tonight?
Absolutely. I expect to win. I think there's maybe one game on our schedule that I said, I scratched my head and said, this one, if we won it, then we should probably, be competing for a national championship. So, but other than that one game against, probably the toughest opponent in the South, I said that every single game on our schedule is a winnable game. And our expectation tonight is certainly to win, but I think to kind of get into a little bit further detail about that, we expect our guys to work hard, which they do every game. We don't question our guys' work ethic; that they always go hard every game. But as we kind of told them, that working hard piece, it's just not enough to win in this league. It's a tough league where everybody works hard, everybody wants to win. So what's going to be that little extra advantage that pushes us to a victory? And that's going to be the execution piece and the confidence piece. So my expectation is that, again, we're going to go out and work hard, but I expect for us to execute the things that we've been doing every day in practice, execute the things that we've been doing all year in terms of some of the fundamental pieces. So if we can do that, then we'll be just fine.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's boat time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Field for tonight's lacrosse showdown between Tusculum and Mars Hill. Glad you can be with us here on this spectacular Thursday evening. Let's take a look at your starting lineups. First, for the Mars Hill Lions, come in with a record of 3-5. Brian Pikelick, the 5'11 junior. Jimmy McBride, 19 goals this season. Anthony Malcolm, a junior from New Westminster, British Columbia. He has 13 goals, 14 assists, and 27 points on the year. And Adam Zulak at 13 goals, 11 assists this season. Ryan Sage will be out there. Tanner Leach, Yanni Rainecki, along with Kevin Kolopinski, and Patrick McMahon is in the goal for Dave Klarman. For the Tusculum Pioneers, Ben Boyd out on a wing with David Fernandez, Kellen Asmundson, and Jack Timerson for the Tusculum Pioneers. Alex Kleinberg will be taking the faceoff. Jake Smith, Tyler Schaefer, and Mitch Chapman out with the goalkeeper, John Perucci, and head coach Richard Carrington, assisted by Anthony Macklin and Chris Cudmore. The Tusculum Pioneers come into this one 0-4 in the league, 4-5 overall, but they've lost 4 straight. Meanwhile, the Mars Hill Lions coming off a loss to Florida Southern, but they have won 2 straight in league action as they stand at 2-1 in the league and 3-5 overall. Just set to get underway. Glad you could be with us here for this first or inaugural lacrosse broadcast. The Pioneers will win the faceoff and work in the back. Alexander Kleinberg, who takes the faceoff, and a lot of pressure. This is the first year in the South Atlantic Conference this season for really for everybody in lacrosse, and the first year for this Pioneer program as well. Ground ball picked up by Mars Hill, and now they'll start the attack down the left wing and get into this offensive zone. So the Pioneers will set up in their defensive zone. And Mars Hill again coming off. This is a team that is scoring a lot of goals of late. Again, a 13-12 loss to Florida Southern in their last outing. But 21-goal effort against Brevard just 2 games ago. And, of course, the Pioneers struggled scoring and have struggled scoring down the stretch. So Mars Hill now will set up, and their switches and subs have been made. A Mars Hill team that defeated Catawba 14-8, and then a win against Brevard 21-7 before that overtime loss to Florida Southern 13-12. Mars Hill on the attack from the point man at the top, and now the Pioneers get the turnover and look to clear. Pioneers will bring it to the mid-stripe line with Kleinberg, who will take it on into the offensive attack. So Kleinberg will walk it in, and the Pioneers will set up. No score just underway in the first quarter, 13 minutes and 36 seconds. Tusculum again, who has somewhat, again, struggled with their offensive attack. When you take a look at Kellen Asmundson, who has it now. Asmundson comes in highly decorated from high school, a 4-year MVP, played with his dad in high school at Simmerly High School. One of the team leaders in goals scored this season with Ben Boyd. Asmundson with 16 goals and Boyd with 17 as Mars Hill forces the turnover, and that's one of the things that Coach Carrington had talked about. Must eliminate turnovers. He threw out a ridiculous number as far as taking shots. He wanted maybe on average 35, 36 shots per game, but he'd like to see that up to about 50. And in order to do that, you must eliminate many of your turnovers, which is exactly what this Pioneer team has not been doing of late. McMahon actually takes it on into the attack for the Mars Hill Lions, and now they will set up. Zulak gets a touch. Zulak, who has 13 goals, 11 assists, and 24 points, with it here on this near side or the right side. So work it around to the left side. Running the point at the top is Sipe. A.J. Sipe, the sophomore from Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, out of Parkland High School. Sipe with it now as he looks to attack. Stumbling out of his defensive position, and point-blank shot is taken and missed by the Mars Hill Lions. Garcia, who takes it point-blank, almost, but did come through uncovered, missing the shot wide of the target. Mars Hill will keep possession closest to it when it went out. Sipe looks back behind the goal, and Sage will have a touch now onto the left side for the Mars Hill Lions. Pikelick, the junior from Kennesaw, looks inside. Loose ball picked up. Body checked off. But still, the Pioneers are unable to collect as Pikelick picks it up, and it keeps the offensive pressure on. So Jimmy McBride, a all-conference caliber player, preseason selection by many of those in the league this year. McBride, the junior from British Columbia, 19 goals this year, a team leading 28 points. He's set up just off the left wing. McBride has it now, fires a shot that will sail high of the target and go out, and the Pioneers will be awarded the ball. Still no score here in this first quarter. 11 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And the Pioneers will have it, and John Perucci. Perucci has had double figures in saves now in 6 straight starts, and there's another costly turnover, likely for the Pioneers. It'll be picked up by Mars Hill, and the ground ball by Frank Reef. Reef, the junior out of Galloway, Ohio. And Mars Hill comes right back with the attack, and this will be Sipe. Sipe will take it on into the attack. And now we'll set up, get their substitutions in. As Anthony Malcolm, a junior out of New Westminster, British Columbia, will check back into the game. Zulak with the touch. They work it from behind to the right wing. Now at the top for the Mars Hill Lions. Hunter Maggs seeing the field right now as well. Nice screen and nice pick by Marcel. It set up a shot that is just off the woodwork, I guess you could say, of the goal. Pikelick will start the offensive play once again for Mars Hill. Malcolm, with no score here in this opening quarter, will look to get around the defense. Nice quick stick, and the goal for Mars Hill. The goal scored for the Mars Hill Lions is Ryan Sage. Sage with his 19th goal of the season.
Number 14, Ryan Sage. Assist number 35, Anthony Malcolm.
And Malcolm with the assist, but it was really the nice quick stick, just basically all in one motion with the shot, and the goal scored, and the Mars Hill Lions take a 1-0 lead. 9:42 to play here in this opening quarter. Again, a Mars Hill team that's playing, exceptional right now. Kleinberg on the faceoff will win it initially, but then had it stick checked away, and it's picked up by the Mars Hill Lions, John Avery. So Avery wins it back for the Lions, who already lead it 1-0. Looking just to get into the attack with a nice spin move. John Avery, who set all this up, will take it on into the attack himself. And now Mars Hill can set up. 1-0 Mars Hill here in the first quarter. Behind the goal is Reef. Lepiski, and now Sight. Garcia back to Sipe. Sipe around the defender and then runs into just a huge roadblock by the Pioneers. Loose ball is picked up, however, by Mars Hill. Garcia, who picks it up, gets it back. Note for most, the large, bold numbers are very helpful for anyone doing any type of broadcast. I understand it's a blackout, but the orange numbers with the orange trim does not help a broadcaster whatsoever. I can only imagine how much more difficult it's going to be, considering the fact you can't pick up on the numbers right now during the daylight when the sun falls. 8 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. Enough whining. Mars Hill on the attack. Another quick shot, but it's blocked by Perucci. A nice job by the Pioneers defense, looking for the clear, and they start the break themselves. Jake Smith will carry it on into the offensive attack for the Pioneers, who now will get a chance to set up. Much of this first quarter dominated by Mars Hill. Kleinberg back to the top. Pioneers will get their first shot, and a nice block by Patrick McMahon, the senior out of Buffalo, New York. But the Pioneers get the shot, which is what Coach Carrington would like to see, just more shots. But it starts a break, and it's picked off by Mitch Chapman. Chapman with the steal for the Pioneers. Tusculum's Jake Smith down the left side to DJ Evans. And a dangerous pass, and Kleinberg is knocked off his feet. Nice body check by Mars Hill, but Kleinberg doing a nice bit of work right at the midfield stripe to keep possession. Kleinberg, just a freshman out of Bel Air, Maryland. Pioneers with the break, and now an opportunity for Fernandez, who shoots and scores. David Fernandez with the goal for the Pioneers, and they have leveled terms here in the first quarter. Fernandez with his 9th goal of the season.
First one goal scored by number 31, David Fernandez. Assist by number 93, Darren Wilson.
Somewhat of an unsettled situation in the back for Mars Hill after Kleinberg did a nice bit of work at midfield just to win possession. And because of that, I think Mars Hill was a little out of sorts. Became an unsettled situation, and all alone was Fernandez. And the Pioneers level terms here in this opening quarter. We're tied at 1, 6:50 to play, as the Lions will win the faceoff and take it into the offensive attack. Zulak back out there for Mars Hill. From the top is Malcolm. Malcolm looking inside. The ball will roll free and into the crease where it's picked up by Perucci. Pioneers forced the turnover, but had the play connected. Mars Hill was looking for, once again, the go-ahead goal and a point-blank opportunity. So Pioneers will take it in to the offensive zone. Tied at 1 here with 6:10 to play in this opening quarter. Here's Timerson. Timerson, the outstanding JUCO scorer who led the JUCO ranks last year in scoring with 82 goals. Had 113 in 2 seasons at Finger Lakes. Ross Parsons with the touch. Pioneers will work it around. Back to Timerson. Timerson, Asmundson. Asmundson running the point at the top. Timerson looking to attack. A little resistance, but a nice job by Timerson to get free. Looking for the pass, and it's knocked away, and it's picked up by Marcel. Another stick check, and the Pioneers way too many turnovers. And now basically a free run by Malcolm into the attack, but the long stick is picked up by the Pioneers. And a nice job with the steal, and now possible unsettled situation, but the ball is mishandled by the Pioneers' Mitch Chapman, but there to pick it up is Timerson, who will find Chapman. And so Chapman will set it back up and take it into the attack. 5 minutes to play here in the opening quarter. We're tied at 1. From the top, this will be Darren Wilson. Wilson back to Parsons. Parsons scored a goal in 8 out of 9 games this year. He's had 5 multi-goal games this season. Still with it. And now we'll get rid of it. Timerson mishandles it and picks up the ground ball. Timerson, side shot, and this one missing the goal from behind. And the ball is out and picked up by the Pioneers closest to it. Tied at 1, 4:10 to play here in this opening quarter. Left side is Timerson. Asmundson running the point. Parsons with a nice move. Still no opportunity to get the shot away, and this off of the stick of Tusculum and out of play. And it will go back to Marcel. So yet another costly turnover for the Pioneers. 3:50 to play here in the opening quarter. Tied at 1 between Tusculum and Marcel. Tusculum a bit unlucky in their last game against Catawba. They fell 15-8, but it was just one quarter that separated those two teams. Coach Carrington said they need a lot more consistency. I don't know if you know Coach Carrington, but I hear him word for word down there on the sideline. He's loud. Marcel with a few more substitutions. Reef now running the point. He has been behind the goal much of this first quarter. Darian Richardson is checked in, a sophomore out of Atlanta. And the Pioneers pick up the ground ball. Looking for the clear, and this one will go out, but it will go out to Marcel. So didn't get that clear, and Marcel's still on the tap. Here's Richardson with it. Sipe, the sophomore. 2:50 left here in this opening quarter. We're tied at 1. Tusculum and Marcel. Sipe on the attack. Side shot knocked down by Perucci. Picked up by Sipe and looks right in front. The shot is taken and sailing wide of the target. And maybe just a bit high as well. As looking was Adam Zulak. Zulak would have connected on his 14th goal had it gone. Zulak with it again. This time we will get that 14th goal as he gets it by Perucci. And the Lions have taken the lead once again. Zulak with the goal. And a nice bit of work by Sipe behind the net
Marcel
to give Marcel the
15,
lead.
Adam Zulak, assist by number 17, Brian Pickler.
2:35 left here in this opening quarter, and Marcel has taken a 2-1 lead. So Kleinberg once again to work the faceoff. Officials today, Nate Kruder, Duncan Sheritz, and John Radesky. Working hard and picking up the faceoff, Marcel. So Marcel taking a 2-1 lead. Nice bit of work by Kevin Kolopinski to win the faceoff. Malcolm from the point. Ryan Sage with Malcolm. And Zulak to the right. Jimmy McBride from the left now will move toward the top, and the ball will move behind, and a point-blank opportunity. That one will hit off of the goal. Ryan Sage was looking to make it 3-1. McBride will pick it up, back to Malcolm. Ferrucci may have gotten just a bit of that shot by Sage, but it did hit the crossbar. Malcolm working in, fires one low, and it gets under Ferrucci and in. And Mars-Hill has taken a 3-1 lead here in this opening quarter.
Mars-Hill goal by number 35, Anthony Malcolm.
So after the shot by Sage, basically just one-on-one work by Malcolm, he was just able to muscle his defender for an opening or an opportunity at the goal, and he put it low, and Ferrucci couldn't get down and stop it. 3-1, Mars-Hill. A minute 37 left here in this opening quarter. Blackout Thursday, where all those attending encouraged to wear black. And another faceoff picked up by Mars-Hill, and already into the attack is John Avery with the shot. Ferrucci had it blocked, and then Avery will pick it up before it skirts across the end line. Avery will come right up front. No one picks him up, fires the shot, scores, and a 3-goal barrage by the Mars-Hill Lions. And it's 4-1 Mars-Hill. Well, Avery did that all on his own. Avery with his 4th goal this season for the Mars-Hill Lions. Again, little resistance when he went back and picked the ball up at the end line. You could almost say that the defense was a bit unsettled, but I think they were back just fine. Just don't think they picked up anybody, including Avery. Face-off opportunity again for the Pioneers. This time again, won by Mars-Hill. Reef will wait for the substitution. Into the game, Cody Garcia. And also back in will come Richardson. Garcia with it from the top. Now to Reef. Back to Garcia, running the point. Mars-Hill leading it 4-1 as we are under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Timerson, who moves up top, taking Reef. Reef picked up by Jake Smith. Richardson from the top, poked away by the Pioneers. Picked up by Richardson. 4-1 Mars-Hill, final 20 seconds of the quarter. And Richardson will give it up this time, Garcia. Reef with 10 seconds. Looks for the long side shot that's blocked out front by Jake Smith. Picked up by Jimmy McBride with 4 seconds. McBride using a pick, trying to get a shot away, and the Pioneers aren't going to allow it. The Pioneers in the first quarter not allowing a shot to Jimmy McBride, but the problem was the final 3.5 minutes gave up 3 goals and will take a 3-goal deficit going into the second quarter. We go to the second. It's Mars-Hill 4 and Tusculum 1. Pioneer Lacrosse continues on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Welcome back into Pioneer Field as the Tusculum Pioneers start the second quarter. They trail 4-1 in this one. Mars Hill scoring Anthony Malcolm, John Avery, and Ryan Sage. Adam Zulak, assist from Anthony Malcolm and Brian Pikelick. So the Pioneers will move left to right as we go. Tusculum, David Fernandez, assisted by Darren Wilson in the first quarter as the faceoff awarded to the Pioneers. Tusculum with 8 ground balls, Mars Hill with 14, led by Peter Appenzeller. Mitch Chapman leading the way for the Pioneers in that opening quarter. The problem, turnovers caused. And the Mars Hill Lions forced 3. Tusculum did force 2. Mars Hill 14 shots, Tusculum only with 3, but 2 of them on goal. Mars Hill with 9 shots on goal in that first quarter. McMahon with 1 save. Perucci with 4, giving up, or I should say with 5 saves, giving up the 4 goals in that opening quarter. Fernandez with a touch on the top, and now the Pioneers move in from the left wing. This will be Timerson to work it behind the goal. Brad Sage out on the attack for the Pioneers along with Parsons. This is Fernandez from the point. 4-1 Mars Hill. We are just underway here in the second quarter. Timerson back to Parsons. Pardon me, that's Darren Wilson. Wilson now to Timerson. Uses the official as a pick. It's a pretty good move. Pioneers will reset and attack. Very windy day here in Greenville. You may be able to tell on just some of the crowd mic, not really affecting the play on the field. Looking to attack, this will be Timerson. Timerson with a nice pass, but the shot attempt is deflected away. Would have waved that goal off. You are allowed to get into the crease if you can lunge with your stick, but it would appear that Wilson may have been across the crease. 4-1, Mars Hill with the lead. And the clear and an opportunity in their offensive end. Malcolm, who has run the points much of this game already. Saxon Wheel out for the Mars Hill Lions. Has a touch right now and will attack Timerson. Wheel and a shot that may have come out before the shot attempt from Ryan Sage. It will go out and the Pioneers will win possession. Long pass will be picked up by Mitch Chapman. Chapman will take it into the attack zone, and now the Pioneers can set up. Stephen Raimondi on the field. Really, maybe he's been out there a lot, but it's so difficult to pick up the numbers. I have absolutely no idea if he has or not. One of the first times I've called his name, because I've looked forward to calling Stephen Raimondi's name. Raimondi working behind the goal to the front. Fernandez back to the top. Kleinberg, they don't connect. And that ball tantalizingly hung from the midfield line, and waiting to scoop it up was Pikelick, but it didn't come far enough. Fernandez to Kleinberg. Back to Fernandez. 4-1 Mars Hill. 11:35 left here in the second quarter. Raimondi falls to the ground, makes the pass, and it's scooped up by the Pioneers' Timerson. Wilson getting the pick, set by Brad Sage, but was unable to get a shot away. Kleinberg, back to Fernandez. Well, again, if you're just joining us, Coach Carrington in our pregame chat talked about the importance of shots, and more shots today. Mars Hill has just not allowed it. But Raimondi will fire one. It's going to be deflected out front by Yanni Reinecke, and Reinecke will win possession for the Mars Hill Lions. That one did not get through to McMahon, although McMahon looks as if actually may have caught him in the midsection. Either way, Mars Hill with the ball in a 4-1 lead and 10:45 to play here in this opening half. In the second quarter. Yeah, Reinecke took the brunt of that shot. He'll go off, and he's still hunched over and trying to recover. I don't think that one made it through to McMahon. Either way, the Pioneer shot turned away, and Tusculum trailing 4-1. Mars Hill, who dominated the final, well, you can pretty much say they dominated the first quarter when you take a look at just the number of shots taken and the number of shots on goal. They dominated definitely the final 5 minutes of the quarter and built the 4-1 lead after the Pioneers had tied it at 1. A nice attempt on the pass to a cutting Pikelick, and the ball will be awarded to Mars Hill, or are they saying it's Tusculum? Yeah, they will say Tusculum ball. Long pass up for Chapman, and Chapman will take it into the offensive end. Has an opening and looks to the top. A shot taken that's won by McMahon. Asmunsen with the shot from the right wing, and McMahon able to come up with the save. Mars Hill team that comes in, goals against average, just about 12 a game. Keep in mind their schedule a little bit different from others in the league, but they allow 12 goals a game, 6th in the league, pretty much the same as the Pioneers, 12.1, 5th in the league. It's a Pioneer team riding this 4-game losing skid that has played one of the best teams in the nation at Division II in Limestone, ranked 4th in the country. Sipe from the top. Loose ball that'll be picked up by Mars Hill. Ground ball picked up by the Lions and Adam Zulak. Zulak will give it up to McBride, and McBride has it on this left side. Back to the point at the top for the Lions, and that's Reef. 8:50 left here in the second quarter. 4-1 Mars Hill. Right wing, Garcia. Behind the goal is McBride. And helping out is Pikelick. Pikelick defended by DJ Evans. Shot inside by McBride. Scoots under Perucci on a sub shot. And McBride scores. Jimmy McBride, his 20th goal. Led the team with 28 points coming in. And goals scored with 19. Now give him 20 on the year. And McBride an all-conference-like pick. And a timeout is going to be asked for by the Pioneers. 2 awarded per half, and the Pioneers will use one here with 8.5 to play here in this opening half. We go to a break and return in a minute. It's Mars Hill 5 and Tusculum 1 as you listen to Pioneer Lacrosse on the Pioneer Sports Network. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Creekside Mark. Out of the faceoff, Kleinberg appears to be injured. right after the Mars Hill goal to make it 5-1. Kleinberg, who comes out of high school as a face-off specialist, 50% or better on face-off 5 times this season, but he has struggled today against Mars Hill as the top 3 single-game ground ball totals, 10 versus Coker. He had 9 versus Lees McRae and also Post, and he scored his first career goal against Catawba. Again, a Pioneer team that has lost 4 straight, but again, when you put in perspective, some of the teams that they have played, Brevard, I think a tough loss for them. That was on the road. Conditions were not ideal and fell 10-9, and that's kind of when the swoon began as the offensive outage for this Pioneer team opened up 23 goals against Lees McRae, 12 against Ohio Valley, and a 9-8 win against Young Harris. Against Brevard at 9 goals in the loss, 10-9. At Limestone is going to beat you as bad as they want to. The Pioneers were decent in the game and fell 21-3. A disappointing loss here at home to Coker when they fell 13-7, and then against Catawba, again a team that this Pioneer team was in the game, and one quarter proved costly. A run by Catawba that lasted again about 5 minutes, just like the end of that first quarter for the Mars Hill Lions, and Catawba was able to pull away and distance themselves from the Tusculum Pioneers, and they won that one in Salisbury, North Carolina, 15-8. So today, the Pioneers here at home, it'll be their last home match for a month, as they will be, or their home game for a month. They'll be on the road to Queens on April 5th, followed up 7 days later at Wingate to wrap up the South Atlantic Conference regular season before the Food Lion South Atlantic Conference tournament gets underway. Semifinals and championship games to be played in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kleinberg helped off, and we are back underway here from Pioneer Field. 8 minutes to play here in this second quarter, and Mars Hill leading it 5-1. On the pick and the reverse for Mars Hill, Sage with the shot and the goal. So Ryan Sage, it was kind of an old basketball move, basically. Just kind of come and set a high pick, and it's a pick and roll. And Sage rolled after he set the pick and was able to get into a spot to fire a shot, and it went in. So Ryan Sage scores, and the now 5-goal deficit, and it's 5 in a row for Mars Hill as they lead it 6-1. 7:56 to play here in this opening half. The faceoff will be won, actually, by the Pioneers. Looked as if Mars Hill had it, but a nice stick check by the Pioneers. That was Asmundson, and winning possession for Tusculum. Ryan Sage scoring. That will be his 19th goal of the season. Coming in with 18 goals, 5 assists on the year, and 23 points. Tusculum down 6-1 to Mars Hill. Can't tell you how bad Coach Carrington wants this game in the conversation that we had. The director of lacrosse here at Tusculum, his collegiate days played at Mars Hill. Of course, there was no South Atlantic Conference at the time. There was not enough teams. Now with 8 teams, the first year the South Atlantic Conference sponsoring lacrosse. Next year, the Tusculum women's lacrosse team will get their season underway. They're off to a good start. 2 members. What are your names? What? Chelsea and Cheyenne? Do I have it right? Kelsey. All right, so Kelsey and Cheyenne, they're running the camera, so don't get mad at me because they're the ones running the camera. I'm just the one that's supposed to be talking. They're here, so they're a 2-man crew for next year. Pioneers will have the ball after a near miss. 6:35 to play here in this opening half, and the Pioneers down 6-1. Garrett Farthing is checked in for Tusculum for the first time. Nearly Raimondi with the mistake in the attack. Sage from the point. Farthing on the right wing. Wilson is behind the goal, and Timerson on the wing from the left. Raimondi spinning with an opportunity, and a ground ball picked up by Mars Hill. McMahon will have it. Avery looking to clear. It was a one-man wrecking crew by John Avery in that first quarter. He just took it coast to coast, missed the shot, got close to it, and now a side shot that will sail high of the mark, and the Pioneers will have it. So on the break, looking for Chapman. Tough pass, one-hopping it, and then trying to win it, but the ground ball's picked up by Mars Hill. Nick Lilly, who just checks in, will take it into the attack. Pioneers a bit unsettled. Now they organize defensively. .5:10 to play here in this second quarter. 6-1, Mars Hill. They've scored 5 unanswered. Richardson from the point for Mars Hill. Working around Raimondi to a shooting zone, and this one sails wide of the mark, and the ball will be awarded to the Pioneers. You know, I wish I understood a lot more about it, but definitely looked as if Mars Hill was closer. But then again, I'm way up here, and that guy's way down there. Four and a half remaining here in this. Here's a pass that will be nearly picked off. Chapman will pick up a ground ball and into the hands of Jake Smith. Jake Smith, third on the team with 32 ground balls this year, will take it into the attack. Carrying the long stick and a nice pass and a shot attempt and maybe a slash. At least Smith was trying to sell it, but apparently won't be awarded that penalty. So Smith will exit the attack, and now stepping in will be Wilson. Pioneers a little sloppy right here from the top, and Mars Hill actually extending that defense, sensing an opportunity. Wilson working around his defender. And back out to the top. Sage from the point on the right wing now for the Pioneers. Sean Gilbane is in. Shot that's deflected away and out of bounds, and it stays with the Pioneers. 3:32 left here in this opening half, and the Pioneers trail 6-1. For those of you who are tuning in, I don't have any halftime entertainment. I don't have any stuff like that. So we're going to have basically a shot of the field or a Pioneer logo that'll stay up. So don't go anywhere. We'll stay with you and let you know what is going on. And then we'll come back with you for the second half, obviously, and finish this thing out. Most were joking with me that said when the sun would go down, it would get too cold and I couldn't handle it. That's not right. I wouldn't do that. Wilson, Asmundson, Chapman. Wilson, back to Chapman. Wilson with the shot, and that will sail wide of the mark, and the Pioneers will keep possession. And again, McMahon thinking the same thing I was thinking at the other end, but the Pioneers closer to it when it went out. Chapman. And a side shot that will sail high of the mark, and this time Mars Hill will be awarded possession. As getting out from the goal crease was McMahon. And so Mars Hill with the ball and a 6-1 lead as we move under 3 minutes to play here in this opening half. Mars Hill into the attack. And if I missed it, I missed the man down. Did I miss it? Was there a man down? Okay. I wasn't sure if Smith was fouled or not, or if there was a man down. I tried to count, but counting and talking, it's like chewing gum and walking at the same time. It's not always possible. 2:10 to play here in this opening half. McBride, who has a goal in the game, to the top. Zulak. And now back into McBride. McBride watched by Parsons and gets a nice pick. I don't know if he just mishandled that one. Perucci mishandles it for sure. It opens up an opportunity for Zulak, who misses the target high. Perucci mishandling it. And the Pioneers with 1:40 left in the half with the ball back, but trail 6-1. It's not scored in the quarter. David Fernandez, the only goal for the Pioneers here today, on an assist from Darren Wilson. Parsons with it at the top. And working on Kevin Sherry, who has also just checked in for the Mars Hill Lions. Timerson, 82 goals last season, 31 his freshman year in JUCO from Finger Lakes Community College. Timerson on the attack. Gets around Sage. Back to Parsons on the pick and roll. Nice look inside at the quick stick attempt, but it was poke checked away and stick checked away by Mars Hill. Ground ball picked up by Wilson. Ramondi from the top. And a turnover on the Pioneers. Setting up an opportunity on an attack. This shot attempt by Sage is stick checked away. So what, I mean, you just can't run at the goal? Yeah. What does this mean? I know, I can sit there or whatever. So but I don't think he wasn't in the crease. Somebody else was in the crease. I don't think Ramondi was in there. I have a reputation of getting on basketball officials. I'm going to have to get on these guys too, apparently. Hey, we're back with more right after this. A timeout with 34 seconds remaining in this opening half. And Mars Hill leads Tusculum 6-1.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Out of the timeout, Mars Hill, 34 seconds remaining in the half, and leading 6-1, and with possession. Garcia from behind the goal. On the left wing, Sipe. Back to the point. That's Reef. Reef to Sipe here on this right wing. Back to Sipe. 15 seconds. Point blank, turnaround, sub shot scored by Mars Hill's Cody Garcia. And Garcia with a nice shot in front, well defended, will score his second goal of the year. And Garcia, just the freshman for the Mars Hill Lions, makes it a 7-1 game out of Houston, Texas. 13 seconds left in the half. The Mars Hill Lions did not get a shot attempt off to end the first quarter, but execute nicely here at the end of the second to get a shot. Not only a shot, but a goal that slides under Perucci. Face-off won cleanly by Mars Hill. And an opportunity with 9 seconds and a side shot that will sail wide of the mark and go out of play. Picked up by Mars Hill, who will attack quickly. 5 seconds, down to 3. Shot blocked by Perucci, and that will end the first half of play. Mars Hill Lions have scored 6 unanswered, and they have taken a 6-goal lead here in this opening half. We're at the half, and just a reminder for those of you tuning in, We'll be taking a slight break and we'll come back with, say, 2 or 3 minutes and give you some first half statistics. You know, I could give you insight, but that just might not even be worth giving to you. I'm sorry. We'll come back. We're right back with more here from Pioneer Field. At halftime, it's Mars Hill 7, it's Tusculum 1, as you listen to Pioneer Lacrosse here on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve, so while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107, locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's boat time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's boat time.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day.
That's a wrap.
Welcome back into Pioneer Field. The Pioneers, as you see, trail the Mars Hill Lions by a score of 7-1. Mars Hill getting 4 goals in that first quarter, and 3 of those coming in the final 3.5 minutes, and putting 3 more up in the second, blanking the Pioneers. Ryan Sage has scored twice. Anthony Malcolm with the goal. Adam Zulak, Cody Garcia, John Avery, and Jimmy McBride all with the goal. Brian Pikelick has 2 assists, Anthony Malcolm and A.J. Sipe with 1. For the Pioneers, David Fernandez has scored tonight, and Darren Wilson assisting that goal. Ground balls 23, led by Peter Appenzeller and John Avery. Anthony Malcolm Appenzeller with 4. Avery, Malcolm, McMahon each with 3. For the Tusculum Pioneers, they picked up 12 ground balls. Mitch Chapman with 4, Alexander Kleinberg with 2. Mars Hill, they've caused 5 turnovers. Frank Reef has caused 3 of them, and the Pioneers have caused just 2, both of those coming in the first quarter. Mitch Chapman caused both. Mars Hill has 24 shots to Tusculum's 10, and Mars Hill with 13 shots on goal to Tusculum's 6. Mars Hill did get a penalty in that second quarter. We're a little confused on really what happened or why, but the Pioneer man advantage wasn't as effective. They really only were able to get 1 shot during that period, and obviously no goals, and that shot was not on goal either. Pioneers 0 for 1 in that man-up opportunities. Mars Hill's turned it over 6 times, Tusculum 11. Mars Hill 6 of 10 faceoffs, and Mars Hill 11 of 12 on their clear opportunities. Tusculum just 9 of 12 in the clearing opportunities. So let's start the second half, shall we? Glad you could be with us. Brian Staten on the Pioneer Sports Network. And, you know, I could tell you it's my first lacrosse game, but you probably have picked up on that already. Learning all about the game this week was interesting enough, but also learning a lot of the terminology and then trying to learn players and names. And when you think you have that figured out, and then they throw these orange numbers on these black jerseys. Doesn't help out. Pioneers with the opening possession of the second half here in the third quarter. Sun has gone down, and a nice day here in East Tennessee. I believe we warmed up to 60 degrees today. Rain anticipated for the weekend. It has caused some problems for baseball, in case you would be tuning in for a baseball broadcast this weekend. I'll have the Sunday game, and Cody Sossman will have the Saturday affair if that happens. Rain anticipated here Friday night late into Saturday morning and afternoon, and that will probably force the start late Saturday. Pioneers with an opportunity on the attack. And now we'll work it from behind the goal. Back out to the top. And that was Asmundson to the top. Raimondi out there for the Pioneers. But just to finish the point on the baseball team, their Friday night game has been moved to Sunday. That's the 9-inning game. And it was scheduled for 1 o'clock, and it could be as late as 2, we understand. Pioneers from the top with the shot attempt that will deflect and will be picked up by the Pioneers. An opportunity as McMahon retreating from the goal crease, but now is back in. Pioneers holding possession here for the opening minute and a half. And a side shot attempt by the Pioneers. This is Ben Boyd, and Boyd, who leads this team in scoring, getting involved offensively here finally in this second half. Not that he wasn't out there or not effective in that first half. Pioneers just didn't have it in the attack very often. Marseille really controlled the run of play in that first half. And now a ground ball that'll be picked up by the Lions and move it into the attack. Malcolm will get it back to Appenzeller. And Appenzeller back to Malcolm. Zulak is out there. McBride is out there. Appenzeller will sub out. Wheel, Saxon Wheel, the junior from Buffalo. Janice Community College. .12:20 here in this third quarter. 7-1 to Mars Hill. Work a little bit on the clock, I guess you could say, as Malcolm looking to spread the defense out, and now an opportunity and a goal. Sage with his third goal of the game. Ryan Sage now taking over the team lead in goals scored with 21 on the season. And the Pioneers have given up 7 unanswered to the Mars Hill Lions. Zulak with the assist, but Sage with the goal. And Sage, again, just from that left wing, just off the crease, just kind of stepped out. I don't know if he had gotten a screen or a pick or anything, but was open and just was unable to unleash a shot that blew by Perucci. 8-1 nonetheless as the Pioneers trail in this one. Body check, and I believe that's going to be a bit aggressive. And it'll be awarded back to Mars Hill. Obviously, it's allowed in lacrosse. It's almost hockey with a basketball feel to it. Mars Hill leading at 8-1 and with another opportunity in the attack. Jimmy McBride will go behind the goal. McBride from the left back out to the top for the Mars Hill Lions. That's Garcia. Garcia and Sipe at the point. Garcia on the attack down the left wing. And now back to the top. Zulak. Garcia will back it out. Nice stick check by the Pioneers. But the ball stays in possession. Thomas Loudon, junior from Overland Park, Kansas, another one of those Finger Lakes Community College guys. And still working on Garcia. And did a nice enough job to get the ball away. This ball is stick checked. Perucci had it, and they're going to award it in the crease, and they're going to award it to Perucci. Pioneers will turn away the Mars Hill attack for the moment. Perucci still looking. Pioneers will get it across the midfield line. Into the offensive attack. 10.5 to play here in this third quarter of action. 8-1 Mars Hill. Boyd from this near side. Defended by Kolopinski. Raimondi spins into the attack. Flips it off to Boyd, who will fire a shot. Blocked by McMahon. This ball out of bounds, and it will stay with Tusculum. Nice job by Asmundson. And it goes over the inline for the Pioneers. Asmundson back to the point. Raimondi. Kleinberg was injured on a face-off in the first half. Haven't seen him since then. Raimondi behind the goal to Boyd. Ball is stick checked away from Wilson, and the Mars Hill Lions force yet another turnover. They've done a good job causing turnovers in the game. High pass that will get away for the moment. Nice job raking it away, though, from the Pioneer attack by Anthony Malcolm. Malcolm raked it away but was unable to keep possession, and the Pioneers will bring it into the offensive attack. Tusculum down 8-1. 9 minutes to play here in the third. On the field for the Pioneers has come Tyler Schaefer, one of the team captains, the Bel Air, Maryland product. And now Schaefer will exit from the top, and a nice bit of ball movement by the Pioneers, who shoot and score. From one side of the crease to the other, and Jack Timerson with the goal. Timerson for these Pioneers, now his 9th goal of the year, and the Pioneers in the 7-goal slide. Mars Hill had scored 7 unanswered prior to that one. So Wilson with 2 assists now in the game, giving him 9 on the season. And his Pioneer team has cut the deficit back to 6, 8-2. They have found life rough in the South Atlantic Conference as far as scoring, and double-digit scoring. They have yet to do that in league play this year. And I think that's what's bothering the coaching staff at Tusculum with all the offense that they brought in this year in the first-year program. A nice job of stick checking, a back check by the Pioneers, and we're going to get a penalty on likely the Tusculum Pioneers. What is it? Oh, it was Ben Boyd. Sorry. So Ben Boyd with you see the numbers? You see? It's just driving me crazy. Boyd extends his team lead now with 18 goals on the year. Wilson's still with the assist, though, right? Okay, so I did pick up on that right. So we do have a penalty, and the Pioneers will go a man down. One opportunity in the first half for the Pioneers playing a man up, and now Mars Hill will have their first opportunity of the game. Boyd, it was somewhat of a wonderful, a nice bit of stick handling first by Wilson just to get it over the defense, and then Boyd, he wanted to take the initial shot almost as if it would have been a quick stick, but I think he bluffed, faked the shots, and that opened up the goal a little bit wider for Boyd, who did score. So my apologies to the Boyd family. Mars Hill working with the man-up advantage. From the point, Malcolm. Pikelick. Now McBride. Dangerous Jimmy McBride on that left wing. And a conference member, or a likely member this year. And this ball be awarded back to the Pioneers as the shot sailed high by Saxon Wheel. Pioneers get it back. And with 7:40 to play here in this third quarter, it's 8-2 Mars Hill. Ramondi working around McBride and will run it into the attack. So the Pioneers still a man down, will possess in the offensive attack. I'm sure in most situations there's like a penalty clock somewhere. Here you just, I got you. Here we just kind of have to go by what the game clock had. And the Pioneers definitely just trying to, nice bit of cradling that time by Timerson, just to kill some more clock in order to get that attacker on. And now the Pioneers are even strength. Timerson, Ramondi, and this pass will go wide and a turnover by the Pioneers. Picked up by Mars Hill. Do they award that an offsides? Tusculum will have the ball back. Jake Smith will take it across the midfield stripe, and so the defender getting it into the attack. On the left side, or the left wing, this is going to be Wilson. Pardon me, that's Timerson. Timerson working around Malcolm, giving it up. And at the top is Asmundson. Asmundson to Raimondi from the left wing. Asmundson at the point. Under 6 to play in the third, 8-2. Pioneers with their first goal here in this third quarter. Ben Boyd from Wilson, trimming the deficit back to 6. Raimondi behind the goal, Timerson. Wilson gives it up to Raimondi. Raimondi with an opportunity, and this shot sails wide of the mark. Might have been deflected by McMahon. Pioneers keep possession with 5:25 left here in the third. Timerson mishandled the stick. And Pioneers will keep possession. Sage with the shot attempt that deflects off the Mars Hill player. And the loose ball picked up by Mars Hill. They'll carry it into the attack. Nice job picking it up is Ryan Sage, who's then body checked off the ball. The Pioneers have come out here in this second half with a different mentality. They are playing a little bit more aggressively, and there will be a slash that will be called against Tusculum, I think, initially, but you can tell this is becoming somewhat of a heated rivalry. In every sport, they call it the Mountain Border War, and here there's no exception. And so the Pioneers, who will be penalized with the slash, will play a man down once again.
Tusculum penalty number 42, Tyler Schaefer, 1 minute for slash.
4:44 left in this third quarter. Mars Hill leading Tusculum 8-2. Ryan Sage from the point. Saxon Wheel. Inside it comes to Zulak. Ball is poked around and into the crease, and it's picked up by Perucci, who will clear to Smith. Dangerous pass is picked up on the run, and on the run is Chapman. Chapman with that long stick trying to get a shot away. And I would imagine with the long stick, a little bit easier really to be stick checked and lose possession. But a nice job by the Pioneers' Chapman, who will retreat and they'll get an offensive attacker back in for the Pioneers. So 3:50 left in the third, 8-2 Mars Hill. Asmundson from the point. Timerson. Mishandled it, stolen. Mars Hill with the turnover, and carrying it across into the attack is Zach Gregg. Gregg will give it up. Pikelick out front, ball is mishandled and picked up. Ground ball picked up by the Pioneers. Forced the turnover themselves, and this will be Timerson into the attack. Fernandez with the shot, deflected out front by Yanni Reinecki, pardon me. Reinecki, and we go end to end. Pioneer defense definitely unsettled here, and a shot attempt. Nice stop by Perucci. Well, Zulak had an opportunity as the Pioneers were still trying to get organized defensively. And Mars Hill was unable to score. But now they have forced yet another turnover. And it's going to be quickly scooped up, this time by Evans, who will get it to Perucci. Long pass into the attacking zone. This will be Chapman. Chapman with 2.5 to play here in this third quarter. And definitely you can sense the Pioneers' sense of urgency somewhat. And whatever the halftime speech was, I want some. (8-2) Mars Hill. 2:20 left here in the third. Pioneers making some changes, and Raimondi will come back onto the field. Asmunsen behind the goal, Ben Boyd. Boyd, who has scored here in this third. Raimondi behind the goal, once again Boyd. Faking the pass. Nice bit of defensive work that time by Mars Hill. Kolopinski. Tusculum with the good ball movement, working it from side to side. Had the Mars Hill defense and Boyd alone for just a moment behind the goal. Raimondi gets the pick. Gives it up to Boyd, who will dive in and score once again. Ben Boyd will score, or they did not. Was he in the crease? They do wipe it away. No goal for the Pioneers. No goal, as they say Boyd was in the crease. So Mars Hill was looking to attack, but the Pioneers got back defensively. So really a heads-up job by Tusculum after Boyd saw the ball go and bulge the old onion bag, I guess you could say. But the officials quickly right there on top of it ruled him in the crease, wiping away the goal, so it remains an 8-2 Mars Hill lead. .40 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Mars Hill's Reef. Garcia. Garcia retreats and gives it back to Reef with 25 seconds. Mars Hill, these end of quarter situations. The end of the first did not get a shot attempt. At the end of the half, scored a goal. But there's a theme. McBride with the shot, a save by Perucci, and a ground ball picked up by the Pioneers. 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Long pass to Chapman. Chapman will let it fly with 5 seconds, and this one will go over the end line with 4 seconds. And Mars Hill will be awarded possession with just 4 seconds remaining. It took the Pioneers 6 seconds to get from one end for Chapman to let a shot fly. And they will just run the clock out to end the third quarter of action. At the end of 3, it's Mars Hill 8 and Tusculum 2. Pioneer Lacrosse continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Back at Pioneer Field, where Mars Hill leads at 8-2. Ryan Sage with 3 goals here tonight, leading the way for the Mars Hill Lions. Pioneers getting goals from Ben Boyd and David Fernandez, and Darren Wilson has assisted on both. Multiple assists for Mars Hill's Brian Pikelick. Mars Hill's picked up 27 ground balls, led by Peter Appenzeller with 4. Tusculum with 19. Mitch Chapman has picked up 5 today. Mars Hill's caused 6 turnovers. Tusculum has caused 3. Tusculum has 14 turnovers all told. Mars Hill has 10. Tusculum winning now Mars Hill winning 9 of 14 faceoffs. And again, we have lost Kleinberg in the first half due to injury. And that's what we know. So we start the third, Mars Hill with possession. Or I should say, we start the fourth, Mars Hill with possession. Anthony Malcolm from the point. back out for the Mars Hill Lions. Malcolm, the junior from New Westminster, British Columbia. Mars Hill attacking. Hunter Maggs has checked into the game as well and has it right now for the Lions. Mars Hill will go behind the goal. And this is Jimmy McBride from this left wing. Sage, who has scored 3 times today and taken over the team lead with 21 goals now on the season. Malcolm around his defender, getting a shot and scoring. Getting that one right under Perucci. And Malcolm scores.
35, Anthony Malcolm.
And Mars Hill extends the lead back to 7. Tusculum had trimmed it to 6. Now back up 7, 9-2, as Malcolm will score for the 14th time this year. 13 goals, 14 assists for Anthony Malcolm this year, coming into today. Give him the goal, and now 14 on the year. Malcolm has been solid from that point. Mars Hill leading it 9-2. Raking it away, the Mars Hill Lions will win the faceoff. Into the attack is Reef. $13:28 to play here in this fourth quarter. And picking up the loose ball for the Mars Hill Lions, just onto the field, Richardson. Nice body check by the Pioneers, forcing a ground ball. It'll be picked up by Richardson eventually. He does pick it up. Get away from the Pioneer pressure. DJ Evans applying even more pressure, but couldn't check it away, and they do turn it over. A high pass is turned over. Zulak couldn't bring it in. So the Pioneer pressure forcing the turnover, and Mars Hill turned away. They lead it, however, 9-2 with 12:48 to play in the game. Perucci to Evans. Evans to Loudon, who will take it into the attack, and the Pioneers will set up. Raimondi from the top. Asmundsson and Raimondi. Pioneers won't play again at home for basically another month, as they'll be away until April 24th. They'll welcome Alderson Broadus here to Pioneer Field. That'll be after the Food Lion South Atlantic Conference Championships. Shot attempt that's deflected away by McMahon, as Raimondi, with that side shot coming from behind the goal to that right wing, getting an opportunity for the Pioneers. The one thing is for sure for Coach Carrington, he didn't get the shot attempts that he wanted today. Worked more possession here in this second half, but definitely the intensity up. One of those shot attempts up around 50. That probably won't happen today. Tusculum only with 18 shots to this point. Ooh, nice pickup as the ball sails wide of Fernandez. Side shot by Raimondi. Loose ball picked up by McMahon. Looking for the clear on his own. Instead, he'll give it up to Reef, and now the Pioneer defense a bit unsettled. They do organize defensively, but Reef walks in. This one goes off of the post, and it's picked up by Mars Hill, who will stay in the attack. Zuloff, who picks it up, and now the Pioneers will organize defensively. But the fast break attempt by Reef was set up by McMahon, and the shot that was saved by McMahon. 11 minutes to play here in the fourth. 9-2, Mars Hill. And another shot attempt, Mars Hill. This one will sail high. Mars Hill will keep possession. Malcolm, who scored the latest goal for Mars Hill, will give it up at the point to Wheel. Wheeling his way for a shot attempt. Perucci was there, but the ball will go out. And Mars Hill closest. Pikelick will pick it up and resume play with 10:37 to play in the game. Pikelick working on Evans. to the point, and a shot attempt dumped in by Ryan Sage, looking for his 4th goal of the game. He'll go pick up his own shot. Now Sage around the defense, point blank, and he'll put it under Perucci and score that 4th goal. Ryan Sage with the stellar game today, the junior from British Columbia, has his 4th goal and his 22nd now on the season. Mars Hill extends the lead 10-2. Loudon on the face-off, I should say, for the Tusculum Pioneers, who have not done well on face-offs today. And yet another win by Mars Hill. Appenzeller has done well in the face-off situation here today for the Mars Hill Lions, who control the game 10-2. And really the flurry took some of the wind out of the sails for the Pioneers at the end of the first quarter. Final 3.5, scored 3 goals. And the Pioneers were blanked in the second. Did get a goal in the third, Ben Boyd, and what appeared to be a goal right at the end of the third by Boyd was ruled in the crease. Would have cut the deficit at that moment to 5, but Mars Hill was able then to capitalize, extend the lead 9-2. Reef working his way in, Perucci with the opportunity and the save for Pioneers, but Mars Hill will keep possession. Here's Jimmy McBride. McBride will work it to Sipe. 9.5 left, and Tusculum down 10-2. Behind the goal is McBride to Pikelick. Pikelick watched by Evans. McBride saved by the goalpost that time for Perucci. McBride getting the shot away and hitting the upper 90, but hitting the post. Mars Hill keeping possession. They have kept the pressure up on Tusculum in this attack. Work the switch, and not a great angle, but the shot still finds the back of the net. And yet another goal for Mars Hill as Cody Garcia will score for the Lions to make it an 11-2 lead. And again, just the pressure by what Mars Hill putting on this Pioneer defense. Good stick handling and setting up opportunities that time for Garcia. And again, it wasn't a very good angle at all. And was able to slide it just under Perucci and roofing the shot. John Avery this time taking the face-off, and he'll win a face-off. And Mars Hill has dominated that stat today. Coming into this fourth quarter, Mars Hill had won 8 of 13. But they've won 3 in a row, and 3 face-offs here in this fourth quarter, I should say. 8:20 to play here in the fourth, 11-2 Mars Hill. Mars Hill has won their last 2 conference matchups and have done so convincingly. Scoring 21 on Brevard, winning 21-8, and then against Catawba, winning 14-8. Tusculum this time turning away the Mars Hill attack, but the errant pass will be picked up by Ryan Sage, who has a 4-goal game going. Stick check attempt by Ben Boyd, but Sage stays on the run, gets a shot away. Perucci saves it, goes in the air, couldn't locate it. Mars Hill does locate it, and an opportunity for yet another goal is scored, but there is a flag on the play. See if they allow the goal. I think they do, because I believe, yes, it was against the Tusculum Pioneers. Anthony Malcolm working his way through the defense. Staub with the assist, and Malcolm's second goal of the game. 7:38 left. And whatever the intensity was to start this second half for the Pioneers is zapped away, and much of that just because of the faceoffs won by Mars Hill, just keeping the offensive pressure on.
77, Mitch Chapman, 1 minute per slash.
So a slash was charged against the Pioneers' Chapman, who will sit out. Pioneers will be a man down. Faceoffs have been the issue for Tusculum, and they'll send a new faceoff man out This will be Matthew Hoffman, a freshman from Brewster, North Carolina. Or, pardon me, New York. And a timeout will be asked for by Mars Hill. We'll take the timeout and return to Pioneer Field right after this. 7:27 remaining in the game. Mars Hill leading Tusculum 12-2. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Welcome back into Pioneer Field, where during the timeout, Mars Hill was given a penalty, Appenzeller, with an illegal stick. We have some blades on that thing? How do you get an illegal stick? At 7:27 to play in the game, you just now have an illegal stick? Okay. So he's too stressed and he's squeezing it too hard. Or he's punching in the, what'd you call it, the pocket, right? It's the pocket. So he's punching the pocket and making it too deep. Well, no wonder they're up 12-2. They're using an illegal stick. And again, I joke. 12-2 Mars Hill, they have dominated this game. And the Pioneers just haven't gotten enough of that. Side shot attempted by the Pioneers, saved by McMahon, who has been outstanding. And now McMahon will run it into the attack himself. McMahon looking to get into the goal-scoring fray, but the Pioneers get settled defensively and nearly forced a turnover, picked up by Malcolm. Reef will run the point. .643 left here in the game. Sage, who has scored 4 goals, with the ball to McBride, sub shot that will just miss the target. The Pioneers will be awarded possession. 6:32 remaining in the game. Pioneers looking for their first conference win, and if they're to get it, they'll need to have a furious comeback here in the final 6.5 minutes. Loudon will take it into the attack for the Pioneers. This has been an oddity here in this second half, just the Pioneers setting up in an attack. And they're going to give Mars Hill the ball back. I think that Tusculum was trying to get a timeout, and they were saying they couldn't get a timeout. Brad Sage just put the ball on the ground. It leads to this for Mars Hill. A shot by McBride. It's saved by Perucci. Loose ball picked up. Shot sails high, but it's picked up by Zulak of Mars Hill. 5:50 left. I just don't understand enough about why the ball had to be placed on the ground and Mars Hill gets possession there after the Tusculum Pioneers appeared to be asking for a timeout. McBride. Handed off to Malcolm. Malcolm has 2 goals in this game. 5.5 left in the game. 12-2 Mars Hill. Tusculum goals from Fernandez in the first quarter and from Boyd in the third. And here's Malcolm's third goal. From Jimmy McBride, Malcolm scores his third. So Anthony Malcolm getting involved in the attack, a great deal here in this second half. His third second half goal, his third goal of the game. And Mars Hill leads 13-2. Avery will handle the faceoff for Mars Hill. I believe that's Albertson for the Pioneers. Check that. Face-off by Ryan Hill. And they award the ball to Mars Hill on a push. So Avery will set up the attack and now retreat. And coming back onto the field is Darian Richardson for Mars Hill, who has it now from the right wing. Richardson getting into a shooting position. That time it was defended nicely by the Pioneers. And this ball will miss the target, retreat into the Mars Hill defensive end, picked up by the Pioneers offensively, who have an opportunity. But the pass not connected to Brad Sage. Sage just dropped the ball, and Mars Hill winning possession. Well, Pioneers had Mars Hill in an unsettled situation and could not take advantage. Mars Hill will take it into the attack, and that's A.J. Sipe. Sipe to Garcia. Garcia with the goal in this game. 4:10 remaining, and Mars Hill leading 13-2. The pick, Mars Hill's Staub, Garcia, and a turnaround shot by Alex Lipsky will go out of bounds. Back for Mars Hill with 3:50 left. Garcia from behind the goal. Sipe to the point, and the ball stick checked away for the moment, and the Pioneers pick it up. Jake Smith with the nice stick check. Pioneers tried to clear. Not as easy to do. Sean Gilbane couldn't pick it up in the defensive end, and Mars Hill will keep possession in the attack. Garcia with 3:20 left. Mars Hill will make some defensive changes with a 13-2 lead. Garcia from the point for Mars Hill. We move under 3 minutes to play in the game. Stick checked once, body check, but the ball picked up by Garcia. Here's Sipe near the midfield line. 2:44 to play. Sipe gets around his defender, is body checked, and they'll say a little too aggressively. A flag will fly. It's likely to go against the Pioneers. Sipe took it straight in right at the crease and then was body checked a little too aggressively, according to the officials. Pioneers will be yet another man down. Lived in the man down situation here in this second half. Didn't give up a man up situation in the first. Gilbane will take the penalty. 2.5 left, and Mars Hill leading 13-2. Lipsky, Sipe to Lipsky, who gets a shot that's deflected right out in front by Raimondi. Lipsky to Garcia. Here's Sipe. Another deflected pass attempt by the Pioneer defense. And now just raking it out of the back and out of play. And Mars Hill will keep possession. 2 minutes left. And Mars Hill leading 13-2. Here's Sipe. And Peterson for Mars Hill. This sails wide. Ground ball picked up by Lipsky behind the goal for Mars Hill. Mars Hill, who has been in the attack much of this second half. And an infraction against Mars Hill. So the Pioneers get it back, and taking it into the attack is Sean Gilbane, who served that penalty back onto the field. .110 left. Raimondi behind the goal near the end line. Raimondi to Fernandez, and the quick stick works. Fernandez scores from right out in front and gets that one under the stick of McMahon. And Fernandez has his second goal and the assist from Raimondi. Fernandez now 6 goals, make that 7 goals.
Goal by number 31, David Fernandez.
Here at home.
Assist number 23, Stephen Raimondi.
7 of his 10 goals for Fernandez have come here at home. He was actually held without a shot for the first time this year against Catawba, was Fernandez. Just 3 of them today, but it's paid off twice. Mars Hill had the opportunity at the face-off win by Avery, but Ryan Hill will win it. Ryan, who has been out much of this year due to injury, playing his first game this season. Smith had the ball stick-checked away. Pioneers pick it up. 35 seconds left in the game. It's 13-3, Mars Hill. Ben Boyd behind the goal. To the front, shot attempt blocked down by McMahon, and the ball picked up by Mars Hill with 20 seconds left. Into the attack. Ball is dropped, but then it's stick-checked away once again. Tanner Leach will take it in. 7 seconds to play. Here's Avery with 3 seconds, with 2 seconds, and will let a shot fly as the horn sounds to end the game. The Mars Hill Lions have knocked off the Tusculum Pioneers. Tusculum has now dropped 5 straight. Mars Hill has won 3 of their last 4 and 3 straight conference matches. Coming up in our postgame, we'll have a look at some of our statistics and hopefully a conversation with the head coach himself and Richard Carrington. But I left that up to him. You know, I didn't know how he would feel, how his emotions would be in this game, playing his alma mater and then coaching against his alma mater in this one. So we'll give him some time to think about what he wants to do, but hopefully we'll have a conversation with Coach Richard Carrington when we continue our coverage of Pioneer Lacrosse here from Pioneer Field after this. Your final score, Mars Hill 13 and Tusculum 3. Pioneer Lacrosse brought to you on the Pioneer Sports Network.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's bow time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve, so while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers Pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107, locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County.
That's a wrap, Scotty. Let's break for lunch, guys.
All right, it's boat time.
Cajun filet sandwich.
Right here.
Hey, I had a Cajun filet sandwich.
Hey, relax, man. We got more. Smoked sausage biscuit.
That's me.
But you have a Cajun filet sandwich.
So what's your point?
Man, you can't have breakfast and lunch together. That doesn't work.
Works for me. I call it brunch.
Head to Bojangles and try our seasoned hickory-flavored smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch biscuit for just 99 cents. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Creekside Market has 3 locations in southern Greene County to serve. So while you're traveling to or from any game, stop by and pick up a Hunt Brothers pizza for those football Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. Creekside Market just off the 107. Locations on the Asheville Highway, Camp Creek, and the Irwin Highway. Creekside Markets in Greene County. Andrew Johnson Bank was founded on conservative banking principles. Over the last 30 years, they have steadily built their balance sheet and increased capital by following prudent lending principles and avoiding risky investments. In uncertain times, you can continue to count on Andrew Johnson Bank, your locally owned community bank. A strong heritage, a stronger future. Andrew Johnson Bank, member FDIC. Sodexo, a world leader in food and facilities management services. Sodexo proudly serves Tusculum College and supports Pioneer football. Sodexo, making every day a better day. Welcome back into Pioneer Field as we await Coach Richard Carrington. Can give you some of the stats. The most important, Marseille winning 13-3. They get their third conference win. They improve to 3-1 in league action and now go to 4-5 on the year. Pioneers fall to 4-6, 0-5 in the league. Marseille getting 4 goals today from Anthony Malcolm and Ryan Sage as they each scored 4 times. Cody Garcia with 2, Jimmy McBride with the goal, Adam Zulak and John Avery each with the goal as well. For the Pioneers, David Fernandez gets 2 goals, and again, he enjoys playing here at home at Pioneer Field. 7 goals, 7 of his 10 goals this year have been scored here at home. Ben Boyd adding a goal as well. Darren Wilson with a couple of assists, and Stephen Ramondi with an assist today as well. We're joined by Coach Richard Carrington. First, Coach, let me just say, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Too loud, or is it?
We're all good.
We're good. You can hear yourself?
Absolutely. Maybe a little too much, as usual.
Too much as you. All right. So I'm just going to. We're just doing this on the fly. We're just adjusting, and so learning how to do this thing on the fly. Maybe that will help you a whole lot better. I think that will. All right. We talked at our pregame. I know this is very disappointing for you. A loss, the expectation to win here today. Talked about wanting to get a lot of shots. We didn't necessarily get that today, did we?
No, not at all. I mean, we talk all the time about in the game of lacrosse, nothing happens until you beat your man, until you run by your man. If we are not able to do that, we can't draw any slides. We can't get any kind of uneven number situations. Lacrosse is a game of 2-on-1s, and again, if you don't create that kind of that 5-on-6 scenario, you're never going to get to a 2v1 scenario. So we got to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit and figure out what we can do to free up some of our dodgers and get them running by their men.
Some of the things that you had worked on and talked about in reading some of the releases, the fact that the turnovers have really been plaguing this team right now during this stretch. 18 of them today, and Marseille did a good job forcing a lot of turnovers today.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly don't want to take anything away from Mars Hill. They pressured at all the right times. It's a team that's very smart defensively, and they know when to get out on teams when teams are a little bit on the ropes there, and they certainly took advantage of some of our guys that were just a little less confident with the ball today. We've talked all year. We understand our personnel. We understand that we're a team that's either going to be shooting the ball or turning it over. So we would rather shots than turnovers, and obviously today it didn't work out for us quite that way. So it's just about moving forward, holding the ball, carrying it with more confidence, making passes while moving our feet, moving towards the ball, but certainly turning some of those turnovers into shots.
I think one of the more telling things for me in this really in experience was in many sports when the opposing team scores, it's outside of hockey, you get the ball back. You get it. Here today, It seemed when Kleinberg went out, who's your face-off specialist, it really seemed to hurt. Our face-offs weren't very good today. They won 14 of 20 attempts today. How much of that did have an effect on just the time that you spent in the attacking zone today? Because it seems like every time we looked up, Mars Hill was in the attack.
Yeah, it certainly hurts us, especially with the tempo at which we play, where we don't really spend a lot of time in our offensive zone because, again, we're trying to produce shots there. So when you talk about losing the possession war at the face-off X, it really hurts you. Kleinberg's been kind of that steady guy for us there this season. He's had some phenomenal games and then had a few disappointing games, but he's our guy. Win, lose, or draw, he's our guy. So with him going down, we're kind of having a piecemeal. We ran 3 different guys at them at the X, but their guys, both their guys who took faceoffs for them did a phenomenal job, not only winning the faceoff battle, but also creating some unsettled situations out of those too. So we hope to get Alex back for next game. We got a long break here, so hope to get him healthy. But if not, then we got to kind of go to the next step and figure out what we're doing there at the faceoff X. But it's been something that we've been trying to key in on and really fix all season, because if we're not winning the possession battle, we're in trouble.
I was coaching my youngsters today, 7 and 8-year-olds, and the main thing I talked about was focus. And I think today, if I'm wrong or if I'm misspeaking, we lost some focus at times in the game.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, Brian, we talked to the guys within the first quarter, again in the second quarter, and then certainly during halftime about making some adjustments. Mars Hill is probably the best, and maybe one of the best in the country in terms of off-ball offense. We really did not have an answer for their ball movement when they're able to be comfortable and move it quickly. So we talked coming into this game about pressuring them, getting out and extending on their hands. But when you're losing the possession battle and having to play so much defense, it's kind of tough to ask your defensemen who are working hard to get out and pressure even more. So our next adjustment there was to say, okay, we'll kind of throw matchups out of the window and we'll just switch on all of their picks and all their flips and fake flips that they do, and they do a great job at it. Again, one of the best in the country at it. But again, we just did not execute that piece of the game. I think that certainly going into the next game, it's something we've been harping on, something we even discussed earlier today, that we're in the battle, we're in the fight. Physically, we're not always there mentally. We gotta win that mental battle too and be able to execute some of the things that we talk about.
I mean, we talked a lot about, some things that maybe we didn't do very good today. But what did you see? You see Fernandez a couple of goals. Ramonde seemed to work hard today, even though he kind of lost his footing, was body checked a couple of times and lost the ball. We lost the ball sometimes, but I really do believe defensively when we would pick up a man many times in the game, since we're on defense so often. We had good stages there. What did you see in the game that you believe you can carry on to the next game? Another big matchup against Queens.
Absolutely. Defensively, I think that the next piece is just continuing to improve our communication. I think when we're talking, we're a very good defense. When we're not on our heels being passive, we're a very good defense. But all that comes back to the possession game. But I think, limiting the amount of time that our defense has to actually play, and then during those times, making sure that we are talking and that we are extending out and using some of our athleticism, that's going to carry us into some next games, into some wins as well. Offensively, again, we've got to make sure that we limit the turnovers. We've got to also follow a scouting report too in terms of shooting. I mean, the goalie, McMahon, he's a very good goaltender, right, but we made him look awesome today. A lot of shots that we placed were shots where we told him exactly where not to shoot. So we've got to clean that up, and easier said than done, because when you got two guys barreling down on you, not always easy to kind of pinpoint exactly where you're putting the ball. But again, offensively, I thought Fernandez moved very well off the ball, did great in terms of handling in tight and finishing in tight, and those are things we expect out of him. So that's a great job. Stephen Raimondi is a guy that typically plays mostly up top for us, but we put him behind a little bit today, and he was able to do some things. So we'll certainly take a look at that moving into next game as well. So I think the pieces are in place, but we just have to kind of come out here and couple up that hard work with some execution.
Some time to get ready for your next game. I enjoyed the experience. I know that you're sitting up here and just cringing and ready to take one of those crosses and probably rack it over my head. I enjoyed the experience and enjoyed watching your team, and I know it's hard for you probably to accept that right now, but Coach, I definitely appreciate your time.
Well, Brian, I appreciate it.
Okay, Richard Carrington, the head coach of the Tusculum Pioneers. We hope you'll enjoy the broadcast as well. We'll be back again when the Pioneers will play Alderson Broadus. That'll be April 24th when the Pioneers will be back here at home. But again, they'll play their next two games on the road, Queens and Wingate, before the Food Line South Atlantic Conference Tournament, and then April 24th back here at Pioneer Field. Definitely many thanks to Richard Carrington, the Sports Information Department, the Assistant Athletic Director for Media Relations is Dom Donnelly. Assistant is Jim Miller, and getting contact information to me and getting plenty of the statistical information to me. Appreciate his efforts as well here at Tusculum College. Athletic Director is Frankie DeBusk. The President is Dr. Nancy Moody. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and it kind of I don't know, you could almost say a guinea pig type situation here with some of the bells and whistles and the cameras. And we only hope to make lacrosse a much better viewing sport for you, the Pioneer Lacrosse faithful that were tuning in tonight. We appreciate you guys tuning in despite anything that I may have said. For Coach Richard Carrington, I'm Brian Staten. Mars Hill winning tonight by a final of 13-3. You can always get the latest updates online through TusculumPioneers.com with the latest story and all the statistical information that you'll need as well there on the website at TusculumPioneers.com. Pioneers next, April 5th, when they take on the Queens Royals. Is that right? They are the Royals. They are. Wow. That's outstanding. Until then, Brian Staten, good night from Pioneer Field.